Okay, so my name is Theranos Kojiori, and I am honored to be in Dr. Wenheng Jones' Plant Development and Evolution Lab. And the focus of my proposal is identifying the mechanism for the convergence of floral characteristics based on oil bee pollination. And so to start with, convergence is a unique phenomenon that has been seen across from animals to plants to insects to even prokaryotes. And it's a phenomenon where different organisms that are distantly related evolve similar structures based on the need for that function. So a good example is actually the wing of a bird and the wing of a bat. It performs the same function of flight, but they're completely distantly related. So there is some kind of developmental constraint that allows for that trajectory of evolution. So what I was interested in finding was this unique family called Convergence, who is this neotropical family of flowering plants. It consists of one genus, 18 species, and they're restricted to the Americas. And they have evolved this highly sophisticated floral structure of having this flag that forms from their three dorsal petals, and what you actually see that looks like petals is actually their sepals. So they're showing their a floral world that is not usually selected to display in flowers, and that is one of the unique features. And what this does is it establishes a single plane of symmetry down the middle, which is like the more adaptive form of symmetry across flowering plants as a whole. And in addition to that, they have evolved these structures, which are modified portions of their ventral petals, which contain lipids. And these lipids offer rewards to their pollinators. Now, when I compared this flower structure and the glands that were associated with it to existing studied families, I was able to find the Malpighiaceae family, which I had the pleasure of studying before. So they also have lipids, but their lipid glands are actually located on their sepals as opposed to being in their petals. And this family is highly successful. It's one of the largest family of flowering plants. They have nearly 1,300 species. They're also restricted to the neotropics, which means the Americas, but they have some species that have traveled back to Africa and Asia. And the unique unifying characteristic is also that they also have a single plane of symmetry. So they both have bilateral symmetry. So when I investigate further the pollination ecology, it seems that these oil glands that they are producing and their symmetry is attracting a single set of pollinators, which are from the tribe, the tribe bees of several tribes of centuries. And as you can see in this picture, this is a Camellia flower with Centris torsata. Whereas right next to it is a Malpighiaceae flower with also another species of Centris. So these flowers are acting in similar behavioral patterns. They're latching on with their mandibles to the thickened portion created by that flag petal structure, and they're extracting the oils from the lipids glands either on the back of the flowers or those created by the ventral petals. So they're getting rewards, and at the same time the flowers get to release their pollen onto the bellies of the bees, and so pollination goes and species continue to thrive. So another interesting thing that I looked at is their distribution. So like I said, they're both neotropical, but if you look at the Malpighiaceae, it's more widely distributed in the Americas as compared to Camellia, which is more disjunct, but it also restricted to the Americas. And the interesting thing is that not only do they share specific characteristics, but they also share geography, and now they're sharing pollinators. So they're attracting a single suite of pollinators. And a study of the evolution of these bees has shown that you don't need to focus on all the details, But the main idea you need to grasp is that the Malpighiaceae were basically there from the beginning of the evolution of these bees. So the Malpighiaceae and these oil bees go hand in hand. But the interesting part is that the Convergence came about halfway about. So there are some lineages, so this is a much bigger phylogeny. There are some lineages of centuries that are restricted only to the Malpighiaceae. But whenever you see the Convergence, they're almost always associated with the Malpighiaceae. So these flowers are not being selected by pollinators alone. They're being selected by, the pollinators select both the Malpigs and the Convergence. And this could possibly be attributed to the fact that Convergence are actually a hemiparasitic species, so they are creating this convergent adaptation as like making life easier for them and mimicking the distribution of the Malpighiaceae to be more successful. So with that, this brings us to our objectives. My first objective is to identify the convergent relationship between Malpighiaceae and Convergence. And for this, I hypothesized that the Convergence are a newer family, which is based on the literature search, and that they have come about based on this adaptive advantages that the Malpighiaceae provide with their oil productions and their single plane of symmetry, and how we propose to actually classify this relationship is through phylogeny, molecular dating, to see which family arose at what time and how that corresponds to the evolution of the bees, and a thorough literature search of everything that has been done and needs to be done with Convergence. My second objective is to identify the mechanism for floral symmetry development, and specifically not just the symmetry development, but the lipid development. How are these lipids being produced? Are they similar to what the Malpighiaceae produce? And to do this, we are proposing to do next generation sequencing, where we take messenger RNA and we sequence them to see what is being expressed in the flower during their development to produce these structures. So we're looking at the genes to see what the structure is, the genetic fundamental structure. And then we are also going to look at it from the product and the phenotype perspective to see what are these actual lipids and chemicals that are being produced through biochemical analysis, and compare it to the genes and draw a correlation between them. And hopefully we will be able to see how they are being so successful and why it is not being as successful for Convergence, who only has 18 species, whereas the Malpighiaceae has 1,300 species. So that is my proposal.
Thank you.